Hello and welcome to Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown with the Sun, and very exciting today, I have got never mind celebrity royalty, I've got showbiz journalism royalty here. We have Ellie Henman, who is Bizarre editor. She's not bizarre as a person, she is editor of the Sun's world famous showbiz column. Am I bigging you up enough?
Yeah, I feel like my head is getting really big and I just want to go, stop. But
I'm
famous.
You look massively uncomfortable. You're like,
I do. I hate stuff like that. I hate it. I could never go into Celebrity Big Brother because I am not famous, and B, I can't bear it. I'd be like, no, just no.
It's so funny, isn't it? Like, I think it takes a certain kind of person, never mind a certain kind of celebrity, because it's like, especially if you know them for like a craft in a way, like Marisha, for example, spends her whole life playing other people. It must be massively uncomfortable for them to all of a sudden have to be themselves.
Oh my God, hugely. Well, even Fern Britton, for example, we only ever really saw Fern reading off an auto cue on This Morning. So to actually see the real Fern Britton and who she actually is fascinating.
Yeah.
And they must have some pretty big tax bills to pay. That's all I can
say. Oh, here's the tea. That's why we booked her. So obviously over the years, you have worked at all kind of amazing celebrity places. You've encountered all of these celebrities in their natural habitats in the real world. So we're going to get all kinds of scoops from Ellie. But in the meantime, we've got lots coming up for you, including a little chit chat with one of Ekin-Su's friends. So I think she's been a hot topic this series in terms of, is she playing a game? She's had some strong opinions on various things. So we're going to find a bit more about what makes Ekin tick and how we're feeling. So stay tuned for that later. But for now, I went to the Eviction last night.
Did you? Was it fun?
Yeah. Have you ever been down to
No,
one?
they could never drag me to that house.
Yeah. So the new studios, compared to where it used to be, is much more agreeable to get to. It's on a tube line for starters.
Oh my God, that's groundbreaking.
I know. And actually, they rattle through it. It's vibey. It's really fun. I did make some videos.
Nice.
Because I thought, why better? Let's take the Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown viewers behind the scenes.
Oh my God, I love that. And well done
CBB.
ITV for letting you have access. All credit to you.
No, I know, lovely ITV. But, I did my best for everybody. I did the Macarena on a stage.
Fun.
It is. It's really fun. The warm-up guys are great. Everyone's having a really good time. The banners are always brilliant as well.
Oh, I think ITV have done it right. Not that Channel 5 did a bad job, but I feel like ITV have really breathed life back into this. And I know from before people going to old shows and just saying how long they dragged on for. So to hear it snappy and fun, it's music to my ears.
Yeah, so I've got a little package of all sorts of videos I've made. So should we have a little watch of that?
Oh, yes, please.
Hi, Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown viewers and listeners. It's Flick here, and tonight I am at the Eviction, which is very exciting. So I thought I'd bring you with me for a behind-the-scenes view of what goes on. So I've just been moved out of the way by the camera crew. We are up here on a stage and can see all the action going on. So AJ and Will have just done the intro and we're now watching the show action. We've already had some booing, quite a lot of booing. Louis, big boos. So we'll see what goes on later. So this is what happens when you are a guest, a hospitality guest of Big Brother. I'm in a little marquee, which you can probably see here, with the housemates, friends and family and teams, which is very exciting. I've been chatting here with Lauren's daughter Gigi, and then Louis' agents here, and all sorts of fun people. Got a wine, because rude not to, and we just did an ad break, so yeah, lots of fun. Lauren's out! That was the right decision, guys. I don't think it was the right decision. Lauren's out.
Oh my God, that looks so fun. Who did you meet?
So, one of the really enjoyable things about being down at CBB or BB as a hospitality guest is you are in the kind of marquee area with the friends and family.
Oh, fun. Gossip Central.
Yeah, I love that. So I met Lauren's daughter, Gigi, who was so adorable. She's 19, she's a student, she's got all kinds of amazing aspirations in like the art world and all kinds of things, but she's also just loving her mum being on CBB, as you can imagine.
That's the thing, and it must be so hard for her, because obviously the reaction to Lauren has been a bit mixed, and I just think people sometimes forget that actually they have got children or they've got loved ones at home watching. Oh,
Defo. But she was just really enjoying the whole experience, as you can imagine, like, oh my God, goals. But one thing she told me, which I just loved, is like, so this was before the eviction where we obviously lost Lauren last night. But she said that if they get rid of mum, sometimes she called her mummy, which I thought was just adorable as well. If they get rid of mum, they're going to regret it because she is obsessive about cleaning. So she's the one that's been keeping that house so clean.
Oh my gosh, and now it's going to be absolutely grotty.
Yeah, but then I also found out another bit of inane gossip is apparently it's Lauren and young Bradley are the cleaners of that house. And they were quite the double act, apparently, keeping everything spick and span.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love the stuff that you don't see on screen, because so much is cut.
No, oh my God, I know.
Like, the mundane is brilliant.
Yeah, and honestly, the production team down there were like, this is the cleanest Big Brother house we've ever had, because that duo just keeping everything spick and span.
I bet it's normally rancid.
Oh my God, I bet. Yeah, totally. So that was really fun. And then all kinds of agents and that kind of people in there chit-chatting. But then after the eviction went through to Late and Live.
This is where it all happens.
Yeah. So as well as the sort of celebrity house guests, Leighton Williams was there, Charlene, Edwards, there was Kelly Osbourne.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, I love Kelly.
Oh my God. So when she came out on the stage to greet Sharon, when Sharon left last night, it was just such a moment, because I think no one really expected, it was hoped, it was rumoured, but to see them together, you're just like, oh my God.
Oh, and they're just such nice people. That's the thing. I think people always get an idea of what Kelly might be like and what Sharon might be like, but they're actually the most grounded, nice, normal people you could care to meet.
Yeah, so you've obviously had encounters with them over the years.
Yes.
Tell me.
Oh my God, they're just, honestly, I couldn't tell you more. Most celebrities, as most people will know, are pampered parseholes. You can't really say that. Can I say, oh, they are pampered and they're very, very spoiled. And ultimately, they give off this perception of what they are like, but in reality, they're not that nice. Sharon and Kelly couldn't be more different. Ooh. Kelly is so warm and kind, and Sharon the same. Sharon's just really caring. And like, you see her, she's outspoken, she speaks her mind, but it's so refreshing to meet someone who's honest.
Yeah.
Because so many of them never actually give you a true sense of what's really going on.
Yeah.
But they're just such nice people. Yeah. I'm glad you saw that too and you got to know them.
Yeah, so we had a little chat with them sort of between takes. They really nicely had a little picture with me, which I have to say.
Oh, we're putting that on our wall for anyone who doesn't know our bizarre office. We have an amazing little office where we have loads of stars come in. It's amazing. We had RD the other week, Paloma Faith, Ricky Wilson. I've got Nickelback coming in. And we put all our pictures on the wall. So you and the showbiz royalty will be joining our wall.
Well, do you know, I've never felt less attractive. No, Ellie. Honestly,
she's a stunner.
No, Ellie, honestly, stood between Sharon and Kelly Osbourne and model AJ Adudu, and then of course Will Best is hardly, someone you'd pass up. No, he didn't hit the ugly tree, did he? I fresh from the office all day, did not feel my best. But anyway, nobody's there for me. But yeah, really, really lovely to chat with them. They were so, it's been a really long day for them, emotional. Everyone's so kind. Lauren was really excited to see her family as well. So had a little picky. And yeah, just thoroughly enjoyable.
And I just love the fact you got to hang out with AJ and Will, because they are super nice. AJ's lovely. Will came into the office just at the end of last year to talk about CBB.
Yeah.
And then this is a great plug for Will Best. He made these amazing Bloody Marys in a can.
Oh yeah, that's his business, isn't it?
Genuinely so good. He sent them all into the office. Yeah. We had Bloody Marys. They were amazing.
Yeah. Do you know, I listened to a podcast that he did, Will Best, and he was talking about setting up that Bloody Mary business. And it's not just, he is fully involved.
Oh my
God. To the point where he was like, do you know how hard it is to can tomato juice? And he was like going into like the scientific breakdown of this, and I just love stuff like that.
So do I. I think him and his friend came up with that business and literally spent years making it absolutely perfect. And I can say 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's not paying me to say that. Those Bloody Marys were bloody amazing.
Well, he could pay us later. Love Will. So just, fab night, really enjoyable. Great to hear some gossip as well, which we are hoping to share with you soon. But I tell you who it was illuminating last night. Louis got the biggest booze of the night. Loudest and longest booze. And it feels like that has been like a real flip in the last couple of days. And I think it was the way that he was behaving during the talent show situation.
I think sometimes Louis can be a little too outspoken for his own good. And I know you talked to me about censorship yesterday and the fact that he's been mouthing off quite a lot. And I think the public don't mind a little bit of tea. Like, they love those moments between Sharon and Louis in the bedroom when they were gossiping about Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
But I think when he starts taking pop shots at people and giving an opinion that's quite harsh, people think, oh, actually, maybe you're just not that nice, because it's not lifting the lid a little titter-tatter. It's just being quite nasty.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because Lulu, he is a nice guy, but... You know, he's really let his guard down in there.
I know. And I mean, I don't know if you guys saw last night, but during the episode, so Louis started talking about Jedward.
Oh, gosh.
And he described them as vile.
What were Jedward like?
They were vile.
But they've done well.
But they were great for the show. They did. I got 5 million, great for them.
I see, that's quite a strong word. I mean, yes, they're annoying. Anyone can tell they're quite annoying, and I think they'd admit they're annoying. But I think to call someone vile is pretty harsh, especially when no one's seen the basis. And maybe out of the edit, he actually explained why he believed that. But I think to brand two men vile with no apparent explanation is harsh.
Well, it was a bit of a Louis the Lip takedown last night. Gary Barlow came in for a pasting, Ronan Keating did, and, you know...
Poor Ronan.
The poster boys for nice
Gary
men.
Barlow. I love Gary Barlow. Salt of the earth. Genuinely lovely man.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Louis.
So, but Jedward actually had their say. So I don't know whether you saw last night on Twitter, it was kicking off. Now, obviously, we should say there's always two sides to every story. Who even knows what's going to happen with this situation? But certainly... one claim that they made about Louis is that Louis didn't send them any flowers or say anything when I think they had a loss in the family, and that had upset them.
They said their mother died and he didn't send flowers. I mean, Jedward came out kicking. To add context to Jedward were actually at Gemma Collins's house having tea. If you don't know, listeners, they're weirdly very close friends.
Yeah.
You know, annoying and annoying. They always bond. Love them, love the three as I do. And there's this amazing video they posted from Gemma's hot tub where they sort of had their say, and yes, the Twitter rant you're talking about, where they just went bam, 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 in on Louis.
Yeah.
There are two sides to every story, but Louis did provoke them, I think, to call them vile, and they called him vile back. Yeah. Interestingly, this morning, Steve Brookstein of X Factor fame, he also had his say on Louis and called him a word that I could not repeat on this podcast. We'd have to get the
Big Brother Breakdown beeper out.
Oh, we really would. There were a fair few beeps, but he basically said, thank you, Jedward, for showing the world what Louis Walsh actually is. Now, again, there are two sides to every story, and obviously Louis is a multi-millionaire, very successful. Steve Brookstein had a gig cancelled last week, he didn't sell any tickets. So it's, ebbs and flows.
Yeah, quite. And actually, interestingly, this morning I was having a look, as you do, at Jedward's autobiography.
Oh my God, I bet that was fascinating.
Well, just to have a little look-see. And Louis actually wrote the foreword for it.
How strange.
And gushed about them.
So there was something's obviously happened.
Has something happened, or was he lying?
I mean, he could be, but I think
what's the real truth?
To write a foreword of someone's book, you have to actually be bothered to do that. So I feel like something must have happened. But the music business is tough. It's really difficult and it's cutthroat. And often it boils down to money. If that's the issue here, who knows? But I do think something clearly has happened. And I wouldn't scorn Jedward. What else did they say in their autobiography? Was there anything like decent in there about Louis, or was it all just gushing?
So I have to confess, I did the thing where I searched for Louis's name.
Oh yeah, I won't read the whole thing.
But I'm sure it's a fascinating read, and
Exactly.
I don't want to do them down. I'm particularly interested to hear about when Jedward went to Eurovision, because Waterfall, banger.
It was a good song.
I mean, I'm very aware I'm sat here with the, obviously, editor of Bizarre who knows about music.
I mean, look, everyone's impartial to their taste. My favourite singer is Simply Red, so taste, I do not have much.
Mick, you're a Mick stan.
Oh, I am. Get Mick in the Big Brother house.
Oh my God, that would be so good.
I'd be in the audience every single night.
My favourite Mick story, and you will know that I'm massively sort of skirting around the actual situation here. You'll know the truth. Someone was sick in his hair. He was sick in someone's hair.
This is just a fantasy. Yes, so it was Martine McClutchan, and it was this sort of rumour that sort of turned into urban legend that she vomited in his dreadlocks during a date. I refuse to believe it. I would wash those dreadlocks.
For him, lovingly in the bath.
I wouldn't be sick on them, Mick.
And he's got a boyfriend. He's going to watch this and be like, you're weird.
Oh, he already knows. He knows if Mick Hucknall walked into this Bizarre lounge now, I'd be out the door.
Oh my God, I love it. So I also want to ask you your opinion of the two bands that we saw last night.
Oh my gosh, yes, boys versus girls.
Everybody's looking for that something.
Nice.
One thing that makes it all complete.
Bradley, what a voice.
Wow.
I mean, I know he's theatrically trained, but it was just amazing to hear him singing the incredible Westlife song, I'm sure much to the joy of Louis, getting some royalties in there.
Yeah.
But it was just, yeah, he was so good. But Levi Roots, what a soulful voice. Who knew?
I know. I just loved it. But then also the silent star of that girl band, the Flavour Ladies, Fern.
Oh my God, what I loved about that is that you sort of had Ekin, Zizi and Lauren kind of trying to be sexy, which they are, fair enough. They are quite attractive women. And then you've got Fern, who you think would be sort of awkward in the background, and she is standing back a bit, but she's the sexiest one and she's not even trying.
Jumpsuit.
Secret sex symbol, Fern Britton. She was amazing.
I always say, like, the body you have to pull off a jumpsuit. The camel toe issues, the clinging to everything.
She looked absolutely incredible.
Phenom, I know.
And I just love the fact that she was the sexiest there and she wasn't even trying.
Yes, for the older gals.
Hugely. And she was great. I love Fern. She's really throwing herself into it. Because you never sort of... I remember when she first went into the house and she was sort of quizzing Gary Goldsmith, and then you could kind of see the journalist in her, and I thought, I don't really want her to become the journalist of a series. It could be quite boring. And actually to sort of see the evolution of Fern, sort of shake that off and just start to be herself. And now the unlikely sex symbol. I love it.
I know. Well, it's a dramatic change from the last episode. I think that sort of almost being nominated has given her a kick up the bum.
Probably. I think it reminds them that this is a game.
Yeah. And, stop crying in the diary room and go earn your money.
Oh, be a sex symbol, Fern.
Yeah.
Get that calendar deal when you come out.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. So speaking of being sexy, Ekin-Su has been part of, it feels like a daily debate. I don't know whether you've caught any of this.
No.
Basically, she doesn't like it if anyone talks about Love Island or her being sexy and more than just a pretty face,
Of course
etc.
you are,
etc.
Ekin-Su. Of course you are.
And it keeps coming up. And she's been particularly vocal about OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
So we've chatted to a couple of the CBB legends. Gemma Lucy's had a chat with her, Chantal Houghton, about there's nothing wrong with it as a woman making money from sort of capitalising on the fact that people want to look at glamorous pictures of you.
Yeah, of course there isn't. Everyone should be free to do it. And if you can earn some money, God, I'd do OnlyFans if I was fit.
Yeah. So Ekin-Su's point is basically that she would just never do it. Fine, we're all entitled to that.
I mean, no offence, Ekin-Su, but let's see 10 years down the line, when the work dries up, which it will do inevitably, for every person has a dry spell.
Yeah.
And as you say, she is very talented, so let's see that talent. She's an actress, but I love Ekin, don't get me wrong, she's a very nice woman. But I think to say that, you can never say never to anything. And also, she came out of Love Island, did Dancing on Ice, then she did The Traitors, and now she's doing CBB. When that reality work dries up, what are you going to do then?
I know. Well, look, she's obviously just been on the Traitors US, and I have had a little chat with one of her Traitors US castmates.
Oh, nice.
So basically, they It sounds like they all warmed to her a lot more than potentially the Love Island lot did.
Oh, okay.
Now, I think that was potentially because we know with that series of Love Island, Ekin was just the star.
Yeah, she
and
was.
that was probably a bit difficult for some of the other girls to take, and boys. And on the Traitors US, she was coming into it potentially a bit more even playing field, because everyone in that cast, so the American version, they're all also reality stars.
Yeah.
So she's there with like Selling Sunset, Real Housewives, Love Island, America, all of that kind of thing. So I've had a little chit chat, and we're going to find out how they took to Ekin, because by all accounts, they loved her. So I think that it's going to be particularly interesting speaking to this lady. So you probably haven't heard of her. She's called Trishelle Cannatella. So she's from let me get this right, the Real World Las Vegas. So you know MTV's massive The Real World?
Yeah, oh my gosh, this is my kind of trash telly.
Yeah, so she's also been on The Challenge.
Yeah, okay, I know The Challenge.
But before all of that, she was a poker player and Playboy model.
Oh, nice.
So I thought she'd be actually perfect to chat to about Ekin-Su and this sexiness, because it's like, why doesn't Ekin want to be sexy? Is there anything wrong with being sexy? And tell us about the Ekin that you know.
Perfect. Well, let's get to the real bottom of it. This I don't want to be sexy stuff. What a farce.
So, obviously, a lot of our viewers are from the UK and may not be as familiar with your amazing work as some of your American fans. How would you describe your career, who you are, to people who aren't yet as well acquainted with you?
I started off in 2002, so long ago, on MTV's The Real World Las Vegas, which is a reality show here. And we filmed in Vegas, and it was fabulous. And then I've gone on to do a lot of competition shows called The Challenge. I'm not sure if you guys get that there.
Yeah.
So I've done a couple of those. I've done and won Fear Factor. I've done celebrity wrestling shows. I've done Punk'd. I've done, most recently, the Traitors US.
Yeah, and that's exactly why you're here with us today, because you are on the Traitors US with our girl Ekin-Su.
That's right.
So talk me through, so we first met Ekin-Su as sort of British public when she was on Love Island, and you've met her a little bit further down her career when she'd done a couple of shows. What was your first impression of Ekin-Su, and had you watched her on Love Island already?
No, I did not see her on Love Island. I was just like, wow, this beautiful, gorgeous girl. I wasn't sure what to expect, but she was so warm and sweet and loving. And I just remember talking to her, and I thought it was so interesting and cool that a young girl had come into the house or to the castle, not knowing a single person, with the cultural difference of being one of the only two people from the UK with a bunch of people from the States. And she didn't know a single soul, not even John. And I thought it was great. She was very competent, and I have a lot of respect for her that she made friends so quickly. You become friends, better friends with some than others. Ekin-Su and I just sort of bonded, as she did with a lot of people in the house. And we just exchanged numbers, started texting, call each other, FaceTime each other, have laughs. And so we built a genuine friendship outside of the castle. I just think she's a lovely person. And she made friends with a lot of people in there, even the American housewives, which are they're a tough crowd. They're kind of tough to please. They loved Ekin-Su. They were just obsessed with her and her beauty. But I saw a different Ekin-Su. I saw the goofy, funny, smart girl, and she's just very quirky, and I like that side of her.
So I'm just thinking about how she got on with the other girls on the Traitors. Like, we've seen you all sort of out in New York and LA and that kind of thing. Was there other girls that she was friends with on the Traitors as well as you? I'm guessing so.
Yes, Janelle, who's a huge Big Brother player. Janelle loves Ekin-Su. We all went out in New York, had a great time. And this is all off camera. You don't have to be friends with someone when the show is over and the cameras stop rolling. But we choose to be friends with Ekin. Like, I'm going to go to London soon. She's going to come back to LA in April. I mean, she's a lovable person. She did make a lot of friends. And I hope that, people see that with her at Celebrity Big Brother.
So there's a couple of people who are saying she's a game player, that they think she's a fake. Look, you've been in a reality TV show with Ekin, so you are probably really well placed to have an opinion on this. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not sure. Are you talking about Gary?
Yeah.
Maybe?
So he's one of the people that's come out and said that about her.
Okay. Let me tell you something about him. He went out first, right? It has been my experience that many times the first person who is evicted from a competition show are the most bitter person. And they normally project that onto the most likable person in the house. And I'm just saying that because I've done a million of these shows. It's kind of, that's what happens. And I just feel like he's just being a bitter Betty, bitter Gary.
So you think he's thinking this is a way for me to maybe get more headlines, to kind of prolong my profile?
I mean, isn't that why he's there? Because he's, grabbing some headlines. And I mean, I don't know. As far as her being a game player, I mean, it is the Big Brother house. People want to win, but she's not fake. I mean, this is not the Ekin-Su that I met in the castle at all. And it's just interesting to see people's perception of watching a show and then mine just knowing it from the different lens from being on TV.
Yeah, because as well, the Traitors is like the sort of the ultimate game playing, because as part of what you're doing, you're faking and lying and deceiving.
Yeah, people aren't happy whenever you play the game, but that's what it is. It's a game show and there's a winner. And if you didn't play, people would have a problem with that. And they would say, she's lazy. She didn't do enough. So I just feel like as a woman, we just can't win.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think that's
judged harsher. Sorry. I apologize. I'm stepping over you, but I just feel like women are judged more harshly on television than men are.
Someone who was on Celebrity Big Brother here back in the day called Kim Woodburn. I don't know if you are aware of her work or seen what she's been saying about Ekin, but yesterday she was saying she's ruthless, she's awful, she's a fake, and she really went in on Ekin. And you look pretty shocked to hear that.
Oh, I think I did see that. She's a writer, maybe?
Yeah, all sorts of things, yeah.
Okay, yes. That really to me came across as a little bit of female misogyny and just woman on woman hating. I don't like that at all. And that's interesting because Ekin said to me in the castle, she said, one of my favorite things about you is that you are really a girl's girl and that you root for other women. And I love that. And she said that because that's how she is. And so it's really unfortunate that people are coming after her. And I think it's a little bit of jealousy. And, the young pretty girl, unfortunately, gets it a little bit more harshly. It comes back to her looks. Again, I just feel like that is such hater behavior. I don't understand it. I want to root for people who are beautiful, smart, sweet, kind, funny. And that's all the things that Ekin-Su is. And so I just want people to see that and to know that. I mean, we love her in the US. She's a fan favorite.
This whole Ekin-Su, I don't want to be sexy or I don't want to be known as sexy, that's a farce. It is a farce. She knows what she looks like and she has used her looks to help her, whether she likes it or not. Like, I get it, but it's like, oh, I don't want to be sexy, look at my talent. Well, what's your talent?
Well, do you know what was really...
Come on then, I'm waiting. I know that sounds really nasty of me, but I just think... she was an actress, she came over from Turkey, used Love Island as a platform and become what you want, but all she's done is reality show after reality show after reality show. She's not getting booked because she can bloody juggle. She's getting booked because she's glamorous.
I would love it if on tonight's show she juggled.
Prove me wrong, Ekin-Su. Don't get me wrong, she's a nice person.
Do you know what? Being sexy is a bloody talent.
It is, exactly, to look that good. And also, but this is the thing, I'm not sexy, I've got other things about me. Well, I look forward to seeing them in the future.
Well, do you know what's really funny is on last night's show, she was like, you won't find a picture of me on my Instagram page in a bikini or lingerie. And then the people who were looking after her social media, really funny, reshared a picture of her from her Instagram page.
Oh my gosh.
In a bikini, being like, oops.
Have they had tips from the Middletons? What's going on?
Oh, it made me laugh. So, do you want to hear about what's happening on tonight's show?
Yes, please.
Okay, so they throw a really lovely farewell tea party for Sharon.
Oh, she loves tea.
She loves tea. She's British.
I had tea with Sharon. She loves tea.
How does Sharon take her tea?
Very little milk.
There was a joke in there somewhere about tea.
There probably
and
was,
gossip.
and I was in my head, I was like, oh, I mean, to be fair, when we were having tea, we were actually on a bus. It was bizarre. And then, oh my gosh, it was awful. And I accidentally got some cake in her eye, and she was so gracious about it. I know because she had something, so I dabbed her eye, and it had a cake crumb on it. And I was like, oh, I've just put a cake crumb.
You got cake in Sharon Osbourne's eye.
Yeah, and she was so gracious about
That's
the
one
entire
of the
thing.
best things you've ever told me.
Oh, honestly, I was mortified. Showbiz royalty.
What kind of cake was it?
It was like a Victoria sponge.
I knew you were going to say Victoria Sponge. That's so Sharon.
Classic for classic.
But anyway, as part of this tea party, they play a game called Sweet and Sour, where they share jelly beans. And if they get a sweet jelly bean, they have to choose someone with a nice attribute, like most attractive, kindest. If they get a sour one, they have to give an insult.
This is what Big Brother does best.
Yeah.
I love when they stir the pot.
And Corey Colson,
Yeah.
ends up in tears because Levi says he's the most boring.
I mean, I wonder if maybe the pressure of it is Colson maybe missing his family, because it is quite an intense environment, because I don't think Colson would normally cry if someone called him boring. I think he'd probably just laugh it off.
Well, Levi was quick to say, oh, but then you did the singing in the challenge and you helped us win.
Well, I don't think Levi was being rude. I think you've got to say who's the most boring, be honest. If someone called me boring, I'd be like, yeah, fair, I am.
I was busy yesterday.
Yeah, it's just like, sorry, I am dull.
Sorry.
Poor
but
Colson.
I know. But elsewhere, David chooses Fern as most attractive.
She's the secret sex symbol. I'm so pleased it's
I
getting
knew
noted.
you'd like that. Bradley says David is the most real. I'm a David fan.
So am I.
I think he's coming across really well. I think he might win.
Me too. Honestly, I think when David went in and everyone's a bit like, oh, this is a bit much, and then you realise that isn't an act, that's just who he is, and he is just like, ba, 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 ba. It's, David's my winner.
I love that saying, like, if I'm too much for you, go find less.
Yes!
And
Maybe
he's just
Colson
like
needs
that.
some time with David, and like, David can bring Colson up a bit.
Yeah, I hear you. And then Louis asked who is the fakest.
Did he answer?
He refused to.
Louis, how? Oh.
I know. I was like, you're legitimately being asked to be lippy.
I think that honestly does show, though, that Louis is actually forgetting the cameras are on him. Because when he's asked objectively who's fake, and he's like, I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, he's going, Jedward are vile. And Simon Cowell's this, and Gary Barlow's that. I do think maybe it just shows that Louis is forgetting.
Does
How
Louis
can
think
you not-
he's only filming him during, like, format points?
Possibly. I'm not quite sure of the contract Louis signed for this show, but I don't think he'll be in there for much longer. Mark my words. Sharon went. There's no way Louis is going to stay without her. She is the only. When they went on that show, Louis Walsh went in, and the only reason he would go on was if Sharon came with him.
Yeah.
And that's why ITV boat the budget to bring her in as a guest.
Yeah.
And I get that for Louis. I get it. Why would you? Obviously he wants the money, but also he's opening himself up, as we've seen, to huge public scrutiny and to dropping a few clangers every now and then by accident, I assume.
Yeah.
And you think, now Sharon's gone, he has no reason to stay.
No, you're right.
Mark my words, that man's off.
Yeah, I completely agree. Double eviction on Friday as well, so...
I don't think he'll even wait for that.
Oh, you think we've got a walker?
He's going to backdoor it. He's going to get his full fee, and Louis is going to go. You heard it here first.
I was just going to say you heard it here first. Oh, we love saying that. So anyway, I want to ask you, obviously we already know that you think Fern's the most attractive.
Oh, I love Fern.
Who do you think is the most real?
Who's the most real out of all of them? I'd like to think Levi, in a way, but just because he's the most normal of them in there.
Yeah.
In a sense of, like, the man has a career outside of showbiz, which is cooking. And that's how he sort of made a name for himself. But then maybe, again, I don't want to have too much of a Fern loving, but Fern has been very real, I think.
Yeah.
She's shown people a really different side to her, and I've really enjoyed seeing that progression.
Yeah, fair. And then who do you think is the fakest?
Who do I think is the fakest? Ekin. I'm so sorry, love.
Oh.
But after everything we've just discussed then, to say, I'm not sexy, I'll never do OnlyFans. I just think you're fake as they come.
Is it a problem though?
It isn't a problem thing. Like, I have no issue with that.
But what I mean by that is, and Lauren made this point last night in her exit interview, is she said, I don't think being a game player is a negative thing. It's a game.
No, totally. It absolutely is a game.
Yeah.
But I think to go in there and try and portray yourself as something you're not is fake.
Yeah.
I mean, smite me down. And I'm sure Ekin's agent, who I know very well, will probably not be very impressed with me saying that. But I think play a game, play a clever game. Maybe Colson crying was a game. Maybe that's part of his game plan. Maybe he thinks if I show my emotional side, because the man is an actor, that actually he'll then engender some support on the outside. Especially if it's like you said, it is a game. You know there's only an hour of that TV every single night. You have to make your own storylines in there. So I think Colson playing the game the right way. Ekin,
punchy, I love it. I always think with Big Brother, though, the good thing is you've got the live feed. So there is a bit more meat on the bones of just an edit.
Definitely, but I also think, and I'm sure the celebrities must know or did get briefed, that there is going to be a live edit, or there will be a live section of the show for a couple of hours afterwards.
Yeah.
But then do they have a clock in there?
No.
Are they aware?
No. I think they broadly know
Devastating.
it's like after dinner until bedtime.
Just be on your best bloody behaviour.
Or do something fun.
Oh, it is a good series. I have to say, ITV have done really well with it.
No, I know, I completely agree. And I would just like to give you my most real award.
Oh.
Because you came in here and declared, somewhat embarrassingly, your love for Mick Hucknall.
There is nothing wrong with Mick Hucknall. Hear me now. Honestly, I love him so much. We met before and he complimented me on my dress, and I honestly thought I died and gone to heaven. Me and Mick are on the wall. I'm so happy you can't see my eyes. I'm like this. It was the best moment of my life.
I just feel like we should leave you there because I can't top that. Ellie Hemman, you've been fantastic.
Thank you so much for
You
having
have
me.
been evicted. Please leave the Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown podcast.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.